स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय Ramakrishnaaya te namaha. My salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, who is the embodiment of all the world religions and who practiced the world religions in his life and who is the forerunner among the incarnations. Oh, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, I for some reason had to, I'm starting the talk a bit late. Today, as a part of the lecture series, Sri Ramakrishna and his divine play, the philosophical and the spiritual interpretations of life and teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, which we have started long back, today we'll be discussing about two interesting personalities. The two interesting personalities were Gauri Charan Pandit and Vaishnavacharan. These were the two great scholars, very notable people or celebrities in those times. Interestingly, Vaishnavacharan, he comes from the Vaishnava tradition. Vaishnavism means who thinks the Lord Vishnu is supreme. So he belongs to that lineage, that tradition. And the Gauri Pandit, who is also a scholar, equally scholar, and he belongs to Shakta tradition. Shakta tradition is who worships the Divine Mother as supreme. Now, before getting into things, I would like to give one or two background stories. Physical strength. If someone has got a well-built personality, he can lift 80 kgs or 100 kgs, and he can work for hours together. He can walk for hours together. Who has got physically quite strong body, which is quite interesting, attractive, and awesome. But the emotional strength or mental strength is much more higher than the physical strength. You are physically strong. If you are emotionally weak, we cannot achieve the success, or we cannot go further in the life for long time, for long distance. Whereas mentally I am strong, but physically weak, still one can try to manage many things actually. So mental strength or emotional strength is much higher and superior to the physical strength. And the intellectual strength. The intellectual strength is much more stronger or superior to the mental strength as well as physical strength. When we can think of a thought, a power of a thought can build the civilization, can destroy the civilization. For an example, atomic power. You can generate electricity, and by the same atomic energy, we can destroy the country, we can destroy the nation. So it is all power of thought. The final strength, the supreme strength is what? Spiritual strength. Spiritual strength is the highest strength. It is the top in among the energy fields or the strength. There's very quite interesting story even in the Ireland. I think the king during the bonfire, he was supposed to lit the fire. But before that, Saint Patrick had lit the fire. So which was seen as negative and which was also seen as going against the government or going against the king, which was unlawful. As a result, probably he was supposed to be imprisoned or punished. When he was summoned, then Saint Patrick started explaining why he has done or why did he do it, what was the intention. I was able to express it very clearly. And because of his spiritual strength, he was able to win over the king, and the king accepted his logic, accepted his arguments, and not only that, he respected and he revered. Probably in due course of time, he also got converted into Christianity. Now, the Saint Patrick represents the spiritual strength. Now, the king who was in the Tara Hills, who used to take the oath and all, maybe King of Boyne, so he represents intellectual strength or the military strength. So spiritual strength won over the military strength or the intellectual strength or the power of might. And the same story we can see in the Ramayana. There was a conflict or there was a quarrel between Vasishtha, who was known as Brahmagnani, the knower of the Brahman, and between the Vishwamitra, who was a king. Kaushika, his name was. So Kaushika was a great king and he had a lot of power. He himself was a well-built personality, muscular power he had. He was good in warfare. He had a lot of weapons with himself and thousands of soldiers and a lot of money and etc. Once he came to, he was, I think, probably he was en route to some place for a war or to visit some place. He had a huge army. And on the path, he visited the Gurukula, the hermit of Vasishtha. Then, after their initial conversations, welcoming and conversations, the Vasishtha said to the to the Kaushika, King Kaushika, why don't you accept our hospitality? That means it is a lunchtime, so we would like to feed you. Then the Kaushika laughed and said, oh, my dear Rishi, because you are a poor man, I know that. You can feed at most 5-10 people. I have got hundreds of people because there is a huge army behind me. So I have to feed all of them. You will not be able to feed them because you are poor. So I'm thank you for your invitation. Never mind, we go and we will try to manage elsewhere. Then the Vasishtha said, oh, that's not an issue. How many people are there? So many people, we can do it. Kaushika was unable to understand and he made sure time and again, and Vasishtha confirmed it. Then fine, number of dishes, delicacies was prepared for all of them, for hundreds, and everyone was sumptuously fed. Now Kaushika was alarmed, was astonished, and he inquired, how did you able to do this? In such a less time, how we are able to cook? Because no ready-made food is available. They had to do firewood cooking, not even gas or electric in those days. So how is it possible for you? Finally, Vasishtha said, oh, it is all because of the grace of a cow or a calf called Nandini. It is a celestial cow or a calf which has come from the heaven. So whatever we wish and pray for, and everything is been taken care. So it is called Nandini. The calf's name was Nandini. So because of the miraculous power of Nandini, all this food were prepared and your army was sumptuously fed. Then Kaushika got moved by this and he said, oh, such a jewel, such a great wealth should be with the king. Then he asked, please give. And Vasishtha denied. Kaushika said, I'm a king. Whatever I ask, you should give. And whatever is there in my kingdom, it is my property. So if you don't give, I am going to take away that. He threatened and he pleaded. He was forcefully was trying to take the calf. Then the calf pleaded, Vasishtha, I don't want to go with him. Please allow me to stay with you. Vasishtha, with the tears, he said, I also don't want you to give to him, but he is threatening me and I am helpless. As a result, I am helpless. Please save yourself. And Vasishtha was really helpless in that time. Finally, then with the miraculous power, Nandini was able to save herself. And because of this, Kaushika got angry and he started attacking the Vasishtha, the hermit, and the people, the indwellers of that hermit. Then Vasishtha got angry. Vasishtha had so much power, but he didn't want to use it. When there was a life threat for him and for not only for him, for the hermits and all, then he came and now he said, now nothing doing, I have to do it. And just he had a danda, a wooden stuff where he used to rest his hand and used to do japa, and he kept in front of that and he started just protecting the entire ashram. So hundreds of arrows are coming, and that danda, Brahma danda, used to swallow everything. Whatever the power, mighty power he had, and weapons and different type of celestial weapons, everything was swallowed by that one wooden pole. Actually, danda Brahma danda, we say wooden pole. So this Kaushika was astonished and he asked, how is it possible? He said, it is because of Brahma Shakti, that is the spiritual power. Then Kaushika renounced all his kingship and all he gave to his children, and he left to the forest to do penance and to get that spiritual power so that he also can excel in the life. So this is what the power of spiritual strength. Physical, all other strengths are required, no doubt. We should not undermine it. We should not say, oh, spiritual power is highest, we should get it, and other things should be neglected. No. So physical strength is the base, emotional strength is little higher, then intellectual strength, then it comes the spiritual strength. Okay. Sri Ramakrishna was God intoxicated man, and he used to cry in the name of mother, and he used to meditate for hours together, and he used to behave little unusual, which is not commonsensical or which is not usual. As a result, people misunderstood Sri Ramakrishna, saying that I think he has lost his mental balance in the name of God. He did lot of penance, lot of meditation, lot of spiritual practices. Because of that, anything too much is bad, so he has lost his mental balance in the name of God. That was the people's thinking, the people's judgment on Sri Ramakrishna. So you see, the incarnations is not that easy for anyone to understand. Even most of the time, even the saints are not understood. For an example, Saint Francis of Assisi. He was not understood by his own father or by the people, and even the so-called church father or bishop of that area. So even many monks and the bishops and cardinals, they didn't understand him proper. But in the history only made to understand the greatness of Saint Francis of Assisi. So many times even we cannot understand the saints, then what to speak of incarnations. So until otherwise we have excelled in spiritual life, or without divine grace, we cannot recognize, we cannot understand the incarnations. Even we may be staying with them, or they are staying with us. The same thing was in the case of Sri Ramakrishna's case also. Basically, he was considered as madcap, unfortunately. So the Bhairavi Brahmini, in our last class, we have discussed about the Bhairavi Brahmini, a tantric ascetic nun. She came because she was summoned by the God, Divine Mother, that she should teach, she should help three spiritual aspirants. One is Chandra, the other, sorry, I'm unable to remember, and the third was Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna was made to practice different type of practices, and Sri Ramakrishna excelled everything. And in discussions, Sri Ramakrishna expressed that, look, people are saying that I'm a madcap and other things. And he started explaining his experiences, different type of experiences. And this Bhairavi Brahmini, she was very well learned nun. She was well informed about scriptures and things. She started saying that, oh no, this is not because of it is not of psychosomatic problems. It is not because of mental imbalance. Rather, it is a manifestation of spirituality. When the spirituality goes to the highest, in the incarnations, which is called Mahabhava. So this is nothing but like Mahabhava, which we can see only in Radha and Krishna, and Radha and Chaitanya, and we are seeing a new. And you are a God. You are a God incarnate. It is not because of the, madcap. It is happening. Sri Ramakrishna started laughing. Oh, people are, telling me mad, and you are saying God. And this was told to Mathurnath Vishwas. Mathurnath didn't give any, importance or value. Then Bhairavi Brahmini said that if need be, you ask Mathurnath Vishwas, the temple owner, to invite Pandits, scholars. I can debate with them. Based on the scriptures, we can have a spiritual discussions, philosophical discussions, and I can prove that you are the God incarnate, which was told to Mathunath Vishwas or conveyed. Mathunath said, well, at least let us do this so that Sri Ramakrishna will be free from this hallucination and that lady also will be free from prejudice. Finally, the scholars were invited. Among them, the two notable scholars were Vaishnavacharan and Gauri Pandit. Okay. Now, before getting into that, what are the debates happened, let me take stories, the biography of these two Pandits first, then we will go to the incidents actually. So, this Vaishnavacharan was a notable scholar, notable Vaishnava scholar in those days. And he was well established in the Vaishnava literature like Bhagavata and other things. So he was the son of great Vidya Vagisha called Utsavananda Goswami. He was also very famous in those days, and the Vaishnavacharan was the son of Utsavananda Goswami. And Vaishnavacharan's mother was Padma Devi. She also comes from the very notable family. Her father was also quite famous. And there is a saying that the guru, the teacher of the Vaishnavacharan was Totaram Babaji. Totaram Babaji was again a famous person, very well advanced person in a spirituality who hails from Vrindavan. And according to some sources, in 1858, this Vaishnavacharan had met Sri Ramakrishna in Panihati. Panihati is near Calcutta, where there will be a lot of celebrations, annual celebrations used to happen. In that, the celebration called Danda Mahotsav. There, Vaishnavacharan had met Sri Ramakrishna. There itself, he was attracted by Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual mindedness. And this Vaishnavacharan is not only mere scholar, he himself used to do a lot of practices, esoteric practices even. So he himself was quite acquainted with the scriptures, and he was a great spiritual aspirant. And not only that, he was able to put into practice that spirituality. So he was also a good spiritual aspirant. So he had a lot of devotion and he had practiced esoteric practices. Okay. Now, this Gauri Pandit again. And this Vaishnavacharan had a lot of disciples also. Okay. And once I think Vaishnavacharan took Sri Ramakrishna to one of the place where there was a Chaitanya movement and all. So there was a particular seat meant for actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in the ecstasy, Sri Ramakrishna went and stood on that seat, which created a commotion, and Vaishnavacharan then gave a beautiful explanation for all of that. Anyhow, now one more interesting personality is Gauri Pandit. Now Vaishnavacharan belongs to, as the name itself says, he belongs to Vaishnava lineage, that is where they worship God, Lord Vishnu, as their supreme deity. Now this Gauri Pandit comes from Shakta tradition, where they worship the Divine Mother as the supreme. Even the Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara also has been created by Divine Mother. Under the command of Divine Mother, these three people are doing their work called creation, sustenance, and dissolution. So she is the supreme, basically. And this Gauri Pandit was a great tantric sadhak, and he had a lot of miraculous powers also. He had a lot of miraculous powers. One is quite interesting that whenever he used to go to any debate, when he discussions, debates, and if he had to win over, he used to enter the place and chanting a mantra, a sacred chant. The mantra is very interesting like this: Ha re 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 niralambo lambodara janani kam yami sharanam. Ha re 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 niralambo lambodara jananikam yam yami sharanam. The overall meaning is like this: Oh, I am helpless. To whom shall I go for shelter except to thee? O Mother of Ganesha, please protect me. So it is from Devi Aparadha Kshamapana Stotra also it has been taken in here. So this is the mantra used to chant loudly, and used to chant this mantra quite few times, and used to enter the hall where he's supposed to debate, and like a wrestler taking a right hand right hand and used to what you say beat on the left hand. It seems like a wrestler. I am a fit person. I can do anything and all. So he used to exhibit his confidence, show his confidence, and he used to go and sit in a vajrasana and he used to sit and ready. I am ready. Anyone is there to fight with me, debate with me. So is to chant that sound, that itself is to awaken miraculous power within him, it seems, because of this mantra. There was a mantra siddhi, it is called. When you chant mantra for a long time with concentration, when you get that mantra siddhi, then you will get all the power which is hidden in the mantras, because it's like a secret formula. So that mantra siddhi, because he had got that power is to awaken in him. As a result, he used to create an amount of fear in the others. And the way is to go chant and what you say, make the signs and go and sit in a very confidential mode. It used to create a fear and frighten the opponents, and because of that, they used to lose their strength also. One is spiritual power, the other is psychological power. Both used to use and used to win over the opponents. As a result, Gauri Pandit, there is no instance till now before meeting Sri Ramakrishna where he had lost any debate because of this miraculous power. Now, so Gauri Pandit is also has been invited by Mathurnath Vishwas to Dakshineshwar for this philosophical debate. Now, Gauri Pandit, as his usual practice, he entered Dakshineshwar temple complex. He started saying, Hey, Re, 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 Niralambo, Lambodara, Jananim Kamyami Swaha, like that. Sri Ramakrishna is not aware of all these things, and Sri Ramakrishna is not aware of the Gauri's occult powers and other things. But interestingly, he was in his room, and this Gauri Pandit has entered the temple complex and he started telling loudly this, which is creating a frequency and that vibrations. Somehow, someone has forced from inside Sri Ramakrishna to chant this. And he also started re 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 ha re 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 niralambo jananim, I mean niradaro jananim kamyami swaha, little loudly. Then Gauri Pandit took aback. Till now, no one had done that. Then he raised his voice and he chanted that mantra. Sri Ramakrishna raised his voice more and he chanted. So like this, both of them, they started raising their voice and they started chanting each other. And that whole atmosphere was filled with these vibrations. The guards thought there was some quarrel, and with their sticks, they came to the place where this sound is coming. Then finally they came to know that it is between Sri Ramakrishna and Gauri Pandit. There is a competition who can chant loudly the mantra. So Sri Ramakrishna's voice was so loud, I mean, step by step, Gauri Pandit was unable to raise his voice anymore. Then he accepted that he cannot rise and he kept quiet. So this was the thing happened. So afterwards, Sri Ramakrishna says, that day, Divine Mother, took away his miraculous power, his miracle power, and it merged in this body. That's what. So actually, Sri Ramakrishna helped Gauri Pandit to go further in his spiritual life. So when people come, we expect some help actually. But when we go to God, you may try to help the God in the search of helping, or in the try to help, you may go, but you get more and more in leaps and bounds. You may get little good food by offering, you get more in abundance, everything. So same thing we can see. Now, and this Gauri Pandit used to do, worshipping his own wife as a embodiment of Divine Mother during Dasara, it seems. Dasara, there are different type of pujas, like worshipping the mother in the idols that is there. And apart from that, the pictures will be there, we worship. And as a embodiment of goddesses, we worship children, like 6 years, 8 years, 12 years, 16 years, like this. Okay, that is called Kumari Puja. Even in our Mutt and mission centers, in our Ramakrishna order, and because of Bengal tradition, so that Kumari Puja is done. So worshipping the girl, thinking that as the embodiment of goddesses. Goddesses is there in every woman. And there is a South India, there is a called Suhasini Puja. They are married women, so they are worshipped as the embodiment of goddesses. Now, Sri Ramakrishna did worship his own wife, Sharda Devi, as the embodiment of mother, which most of us we know. Now, this Gauri Pandit used to also worship his own wife, placed on the seat where they used to keep the Divine Mother, and he used to keep, he used to ask her to sit and he used to worship, just like traditional worship, he used to offer all the articles to her for 3 days. And he used to do for a long time. So that's how this Chandi, Upasaki was. And not only that, interestingly, in Srividya Upasana, it is a tradition, divine worship, divine mother's worship, and there is one more tradition called Dashamaha Vidya Upasana, where again divine mother worship. So, in traditional worships, most of these traditional worships end with the homa, fire sacrifice. And this Gauri Pandit, if not every day, at least most of the time, also used to end his worship with this fire sacrifice, it seems, as Sri Ramakrishna narrates. This fire sacrifice, what we do, generally we do on the floor, there will be bricks and there will be sand or a clay so that the heat will not affect the floor of the building, and it will be surrounded by bricks, and inside we will pour good amount, we will use the wood and we will pour ghee and other materials, isn't it? Now, interestingly, he never used to create an external sacrifice altar. Instead of that, around 82 pounds, means 37 kgs. Now, why only that much, I do not know. Sri Ramakrishna has mentioned this. Around 37 kg of wood, this Gauri Pandit used to place on his left hand, okay, and he used to lit the fire and used to pour ghee or any other articles, and used to do this homa or sacrifice for 1 hour, and nothing is to happen, and he was able to hold on to the fire for such a long time, pour ghee and other oblations, and his hand and his body is not getting burnt, and he used to finish his homa sacrifice, it seems. So basically he had some siddhi, miracle power. So this is the life history of one is Vaishnavacharan. He himself used to do a lot of Vaishnava Tantra practices, esoteric practices, and this Gauri Pandit is also interesting personality who did a lot of tantric practices, and Shodashi Puja, Suhasini Puja, and all these things. So such two great eminent scholars who are well versed in the scriptures and who themselves have done a lot of spiritual sadhana, not just mere intellectuals. Now they have come for the philosophical debate. And this Gauri Charan interesting incident I told already. Ha re 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 Lambodara Tamyam Koswa, like that he told, and all these things. Okay. Now Gauri Pandit has come and few other scholars have come, and Vaishnavacharan is still yet to come. Okay, so they came to know that Vaishnavacharan will be late. As a result, they decided, okay, they will go to the prayer hall or the place where they will have a debate. And they started moving. Sri Ramakrishna, he went into the sanctorium of Kali Mandir, that is Kali Temple. And he prayed and he offered some flowers or a simple worship to Divine Mother. And when he was coming, he was intoxicated. Not by the wine or a beer or a Guinness, he was intoxicated by divine. So here he was a divine intoxicated person. With the divine intoxication, slowly he started coming out. Gauri Pandit is seeing him, he is observing and is able to notice that Sri Ramakrishna's divine mood and divine intoxication, and he is able to understand Sri Ramakrishna is no ordinary man. Okay, and he has come out, and slowly they are moving towards the hall, the debate hall. And interestingly, Vaishnavacharan came. Vaishnavacharan, along with his followers, he came, and out of courtesy and out of culture, and it is because due to culture, Vaishnavacharan paid his respects to Sri Ramakrishna as a saintly person, as a saint. And Sri Ramakrishna went in that divine mood. Sri Ramakrishna went and he sat on the Vaishnavacharan's shoulders. There was a big transformation in the Vaishnavacharan because of the divine touch of Sri Ramakrishna. His devotion got awakened, and probably it might have reached its pinnacle, and his mood got changed. In that divine intoxicated mood, even Vaishnavacharan extempore, he composed a beautiful poem on Sri Ramakrishna. You are great, you are the God incarnate, and etc. etc. And everyone were awestruck. And Gauri Charan is witnessing all these things. Gauri Pandit is witnessing all these things. Okay, then after some time, things became all right, and Vaishnav Charan came to senses, and Sri Ramakrishna also came to senses. Then all of them, then they went and they sat. What do you say? In the debate hall. But Vaishnavacharan was feeling that he's been blessed because of the Sri Ramakrishna's touch and Sri Ramakrishna's grace. Now, now the debate is supposed to start. At the beginning itself, Gauri Pandit, he accepted his defeat, saying that since Vaishnavacharan has been accepted, Vaishnavacharan has been bestowed such a grace by Sri Ramakrishna, I shall not debate with him today. If I do, I am sure to be defeated because he is endowed with the divine power. Vaishnavacharan is endowed with the divine power. As a result, if I debate, and also Sri Ramakrishna has taken my miraculous power, if I do any debate today, I will lose. Hence, I do not debate. Moreover, I find that Vaishnavacharan belongs to my school of thought. So his opinion about the master must be the same as mine. In this case, debate is unnecessary. So as a result, Gauri Pandit that day, he didn't do anything. So whatever Vaishnavacharan says, I accept it. Because anyhow, we comes from both of us, from the same tradition or whatever he says. And Bhairavi Brahmani started narrating the experience of Sri Ramakrishna, and she was giving a contrary, as a references from the scriptures. Okay, Sri Ramakrishna had this experience, and what does it mean? There is a special mention or a discussion or a commentary in the particular scripture, and she used to, because she was well read, she was go on giving the scriptural references. And people started following it, and there were some discussions, no doubt. There were probably counter questions, and finally Vaishnavacharan said that yes, Sri Ramakrishna is God incarnate, no doubt, and he paid his respects by bowing down. And already Gauri Pandit had accepted the defeat, and Vaishnavacharan is also bowing down. Now all other scholars who are not very famous, unlike Gauri Charan and Vaishnavacharan and Gauri Pandit, when these people have accepted, then they didn't have anything else to say much. All of them paid their respects and bowing down to Sri Ramakrishna and accepted or declared that Sri Ramakrishna is an incarnation, God incarnate. So quite interesting. And Muthunath Vishwas thought, by this, I thought Sri Ramakrishna will be free from hallucination and our Bhairavi Brahmin will be free from prejudice. But now I have become free from prejudice. So now Sri Ramakrishna is God incarnate. He was also astonished. And finally, either Vaishnavacharan or Bhairavi Brahmin asked Sri Ramakrishna, what is his opinion? He was munching some nuts, areca nut or something, and he said, whatever the experiences, Bhairavi Brahmin narrated, yes, they are all true. I had all of them. Whether I am God incarnate or not, I don't bother, I don't care. I am the child of the Divine Mother, that's all I know. But at least I am free, that I've been freed from the special title called madcap. So I am no more mad person. I am quite okay. So whatever I have experiences are spiritual experiences or God intoxication, because of that it might have happened. So at least I'm not a mental person. I'm not a madcap. That has been proved now. I am happy. So when people observed Sri Ramakrishna's guileless nature, simplicity, innocence, they all moved and their respects increased to them, to Sri Ramakrishna. So finally they all accepted and they declared and they started living. And this meeting had a great impact on both Gauri Charan and Vaishnavacharan, Gauri Pandit and Vaishnavacharan also. Then afterwards, Vaishnavacharan started coming slowly, time and again, to Sri Ramakrishna, narrating his own experiences to Sri Ramakrishna and asking his opinion or asking his guidance, further guidance. And not only that, Vaishnavacharan used to take Sri Ramakrishna to his place so that because he had his disciples who used to do esoteric practices. Esoteric practices are called like a backdoor practices. Uh, their disciples were there, and Sri Ramakrishna used to guide, listen, and because Sri Ramakrishna had performed all type of sadhanas, so he knew all of them. So he started guiding them what to do and all. And interestingly, Sri Ramakrishna makes a beautiful comment that these esoteric practices, somehow I was not happy about that because there are backdoor practices. I had some negative notion about it. But when I started seeing these sincere spiritual aspirants, I could understand and I got convinced that even it may be a backdoor practice, but if it is done in a right intention, good intention, one can reach God, one can reach Almighty. That is what Sri Ramakrishna's one great understanding and which he showed to the world. And often Vaishnavacharan used to come and used to meet and used to get motivated and inspired by Sri Ramakrishna's presence and teachings. On the other side, Vaishnavacharan also got impressed, and I think he stayed for a good amount of time with Sri Ramakrishna in Dakshineshwar. And in one of the conversation, in one day, in a conversation, Sri Ramakrishna asked, said, look, Vaishnavacharana calls this, means this body, that as an avatar, incarnation or God incarnate. What do you think? This Gauri Pandit became a bit grave and he started saying, does Vaishnavacharan call you an incarnation and God incarnate? I consider that is an understatement on you. Then what does it mean? What does he mean then? He says, I believe you are he by a fraction of whose power the avatars, God incarnates, come forth to this world in every age and accomplish their mission. Means you are the source from which every God incarnate, every avatars come. You are not just God incarnate, you are the Supreme Self, you are the Parabrahman, you are the original source from which every incarnation springs out or comes out. That is what the understanding or a declaration was given by Gauri Pandit, notable scholar in those times. Sri Ramakrishna, with his innocence, innocently, he smiled and he said, ah, so you outbid him. What do you find in me that leads you to entertain this idea? Then Gauri replied, I am saying this based on my deep personal experience and the testimony of the scriptures. I am ready to prove my contention to anyone who challenges me in the matter. And because when Gauri Pandit says, I don't think anyone is there to challenge because of his notable scholarship and all, and there was no other philosophical debates about Sri Ramakrishna's whether he is a God incarnate or not. And Gauri's attraction for master, it came day by day, it got increased, and he started spending time with Sri Ramakrishna. And because of this, their family people got worried, and they came to know that our father or husband Gauri is living with a madcap called Sri Ramakrishna. Because still that rumor has not died out completely. So they were a bit worried, and they were started sending letters often to come back to house. And finally, he received a letter saying that probably if you don't come, they are coming and to take him back. So when he got this letter, he was alarmed. So he didn't want to go back to the house. He didn't wish to go back to the family life again. So then he thought and he made a plan to renounce the life, means to renounce the home and earth, not the life, home and earth, to take the monastic life. So Gauri Pandit went to master with folded hands, with the tears in the eyes. He asked, please, he asked permission to leave his company, and he sought his permission and blessings so that he can go further in his spiritual life and he can experience the Divine Mother. Then Sri Ramakrishna asked, "Hey, what happened? Why are you in tears? Why you want to leave the world so suddenly? Where you will go?" and etc. Then Gauri replied that, "Please bless me so that my desire be fulfilled. That I will experience the divine. I will experience the Mother, Divine Mother. I shall never return home without realizing God. This is my wish. Please bless me so that my wish may become fulfilled." From then onwards, we don't know where the Gauri Pandit went. And people, I mean, their family people, they were in search for a long time. Unfortunately, they couldn't locate where Gauri Pandit was. So, this Gauri Pandit had a very interesting opinion that one who develops firm conviction in the uh, chosen deity dwells in every person, who had a firm conviction on the chosen deity dwells in every person, he realizes the God. One attains full knowledge and he believes that God plays in every being or every human being, or God plays through every human being. So this is what his understanding. So these two Pandits who came for philosophical debate, and by the touch of Sri Ramakrishna, by the grace of Sri Ramakrishna, they became more and more spiritually oriented. They became more and more God centered. They became more and more uh, spiritual minded. Their compassion and their, what do you say, the worldliness decreased, compassion increased, and from the world to the God shifting, it became more and more intense in them, and their spiritual life got increased, and their spiritual temperament also got intensified. So this is a great thing which we can see in all the life of saints and incarnations. Whoever comes to help, whoever comes to give something for such great personalities, instead of giving, they may give little, but they will take in abundance. They will receive the grace in leaps and bounds. That's where the two scholars, the two great intellectuals met the spiritual dynamo and they got converted. I think that's the reason I gave this title today. So, where the intellect kneels down in front of spirituality. These two great intellectuals, they kneel down in front of spirituality. That is what Sri Ramakrishna. So that's why he said spiritual strength is the highest strength. That doesn't mean that other strengths are inferior. I mean, the other we cannot undermine the other strengths. They are also required for the life and the civilization and the society. That also we should understand. May Sri Ramakrishna bless all of us so that we shall experience the God I mean, at early as possible, and we shall experience the God in every moment of our life, in every walk of our life. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.